The secret of the sweet apples. As the sun slowly rose above the horizon, it cast golden light over the lush green orchard. The morning's first rays sparkled on dew-kissed leaves, while birds perched on the branches, filling the air with their melodious songs. A gentle breeze swept through the trees, carrying the sweet scent of fruit blossoms and wrapping the orchard in a magical fragrance. This was no ordinary orchard. The apples here were famous not only for their delicious taste, but also for their enchanting glow. Each one shimmered with the warmth of the sun, glowing in shades of golden yellow, fiery red, and soft pink. Every season, the orchard was filled with a festive atmosphere. Bees buzzed as they collected nectar, butterflies danced with the wind, and tiny squirrels played hide and seek along the tree trunks. And watching over this magical orchard was its greatest protector, Queen Elara, known for her kindness and wisdom. Queen Elara not only ruled her kingdom with great care, but also nurtured her orchard with love. She valued the hard work of the farmers and saw every fruit as a gift from nature. Each year, she held a special contest, rewarding the farmer who grew the sweetest apples as a way to honor their dedication. But this year, something was different. A great debate had spread through the orchard. The farmers Leo and Mia were arguing over who had grown the sweetest apples. Their voices echoed through the branches, carrying a friendly yet fierce rivalry across the trees. Watching this lively dispute was Benny, a patient and cheerful donkey, who curiously observed everything happening around him. "My apples are the sweetest," Leo shouted, proudly holding up a large, gleaming apple. Mia frowned. "No. My apples are redder, juicier, and far more delicious," she replied confidently. As the argument grew louder, the farmers split into two groups. Each was convinced that their own method was the best, but neither was willing to consider the other's approach. Benny, swishing his tail, stepped forward and smiled. "Why are you arguing so much?" he asked kindly. "Each of you has a different way of growing apples. Maybe these differences are what make them special." The farmers paused for a moment, considering Benny's words. Just then, Queen Elara, who had been taking a stroll through the orchard, overheard the argument. She approached with a calm and composed voice. "What is going on here?" she asked. Leo quickly stepped forward. "My queen, I believe I have grown the sweetest apples," he declared proudly. Mia immediately added that "my apples are the most delicious." Queen Elara smiled gently. "My dear farmers, every effort is valuable. But sweetness does not come from just one person's hard work. It flourishes when we work together. So, let's have a competition." Mia's eyes sparkled with curiosity. "What kind of competition?" she asked. The queen gave a knowing wink. "Each of you will continue growing your apples using your own methods. But there is one condition. You must visit each other's orchards, observe how the other works, and learn from one another. In the end, we will decide together which apple is the sweetest." Benny let out an excited bray. "What a great idea!" Maybe you'll discover new things along the way. And so the competition began. Leo woke up early every morning to water his trees using his special technique. Meanwhile, Mia enriched the soil with natural fertilizers to make her apples juicier. But this time, they were not only focusing on their own methods, they were also paying close attention to what the other was doing, carefully learning from each other. Days passed, the trees flourished with vibrant green leaves, and the branches became heavy with ripe apples. Finally, the day of the competition arrived. Leo and Mia proudly presented their finest apples to Queen Elara. The queen took a small bite, closed her eyes, and savored the flavors. Leo's apple was sweet and aromatic, while Mia's apple was juicy and refreshing. Benny also took a bite and happily wagged his tail. Queen Elara smiled warmly. Each of your apples is unique and wonderful. But there is no winner in this contest. The sweetest apple is the one that grows from the combination of different ideas. Leo and Mia exchanged glances and smiled. It's true. Learning from each other made our apples even better, said Leo. Mia nodded in agreement. Yes, working together is far better than working alone. Queen Elara rewarded both farmers and decided to organize a sharing day in the orchard, where everyone could learn new techniques from one another. Benny jumped around excitedly. That means friendship is growing too, just like the apples. He cheered. From that day on, not only the sweetest apples flourished in the orchard, but also friendship, cooperation, and the joy of sharing. The farmers no longer gathered just to grow the best apples. They came together to learn from one another and work as a team. Laughter echoed in every corner of the orchard. The bees buzzed more cheerfully, and even the wind seemed to blow more softly. Standing on a hill overlooking the orchard, Queen Elara took a deep breath. Her eyes wandered over the gleaming apple trees, the farmers helping each other, and Benny happily wagging his tail as he pranced around. True success, she thought, was not just about growing the sweetest apples, but about sharing that sweetness with others. As the sun set, the sky turned into shades of gold and pink. A gentle breeze passed through the trees, making the apples sway as if they were dancing. Leo and Mia exchanged smiles. Maybe one day, Mia said, we can host the biggest apple festival in the orchard. Benny let out an excited bray. A festival? Then I'd better start working on growing the sweetest carrots too. Queen Elara chuckled and tilted her head slightly, taking one last look at her thriving orchard. The secret of sweet apples was not only hidden in the soil, it was in friendship and sharing. The wind gently swept through the orchard, and the birds sang a sweet melody. Who knows? Perhaps at this very moment, another story of friendship is being written somewhere in the orchard. And so, the secret of the sweet apples was whispered through the songs of birds and the soft murmurs of the wind, passing from generation to generation.